Hey guys, SR7 here. So I'm going to be doing a video on a KWA SR10. This is the classic kind of standard version that we've seen from KWA. Their 2GX gearbox, which has been around for a long time, and that's kind of what they became famous for. I don't really care for KWA as a company. Most of their products, especially their gas blowbacks, just all sorts of issues. I've had so many of their guns, but the 2GX gearbox is a good stock gun. It really is. There's a couple things inside of it that they haven't updated, but for the time, back in like 2008, 2010-ish, around that time when these things were out, these were one of the best guns you could get. Things back then were basically what Crytek's are now, or a couple years ago. Some people would say, oh, well, other manufacturers are making guns that are better than Crytek's now, and blah, blah, blah. But for a while there, Crytek was like one of the best companies to get a gun out of the box from. Same thing with this. So I'm going to start from the back and go to the front. We have a crane stock. Unfortunately, KWA stocks are really bad. Look at how this thing is wired up. So the wiring system is connected to a fuse that sits in the stock. So everything here is proprietary. It's really bad. In fact, this is only a 1000 milliamp 11.1, and I can't even fit it on the side tubes, on the side, or even down the middle. I have to stuff it because there's so much wires down inside of there. So I have to kind of work them to be able to fit it down inside. And that's a bad system. That is a really, really bad design, and it's been like this for years, and they haven't changed it. Batteries don't fit in here very well. If you do get this gun, I'd recommend an 11.1, but I would shop around and get some nunchuck ones, like 3-cell. You can get 1200 milliamp, and the little cells are thin, so you'll be able to fit all three of those down in, one down each tube. But it's picky on batteries for sure. Moving forward, it's got an ambi sling mount, metal body, and buffer tube. The body is just standard, single selector switch on the side, standard bolt lock, which doesn't function, and then the charging handle, which does function, dust cover, with some KWA trademarks. This is the SR7. The back sight here is the carrying handle that's been cut. Triangle sight. I think this is a 10-inch barrel. It is metal, a very solid barrel. And the SR7 rail, I believe it's 7 inches for that SR7 name. And then there's a standard birdcage flash hider. Stock hop-up barrel bucking inside of this. I haven't done anything to the internals, and I look at it. It looks brand new, so I don't think anything was done. But yeah, metal body. It does hinge open like this, so it's a 2-piece hop-up. So you're going to get that basic hop-up, which kind of sucks, but they're okay. They're not awful. You can hop 0.3s out of the box with this, no problem. As far as feet per second, I will chrono it here. I already got some readings off of it, but we'll chrono it just to double check. As far as internals, again, it's the 2GX gearbox. They're pretty solid. There's a couple things I don't like about them. My main beef is the piston head has no ports on it, and it's just so much better to have ports on your piston head. That, and then there's no quick change spring system. This, for the time when it came out, it was like pretty revolutionary. The shells were very thick and solid, but they should have adapted to the quick change. They do have like the ERGs. Those have a different spring system inside of them and a functioning bolt lock, and they also have newer versions where you can adjust the FPS from back here with the VM series or VP series, something like that. But they're quite expensive, and they don't come in the short version barrels, I don't think. But yeah, they have quite a few guns out nowadays. The SR7s and SR10s are kind of classics for back in the day when I was starting up in airsoft and starting to get better guns periodically, and these were always highly recommended. 366, 367, 366, 365, 371, 369, 369. Okay, so at first I was getting 355, and as you saw there, I twisted the chrono because I wasn't shooting straight in there, and then it went up to 370. So this is what I was getting when I chronoed it upstairs. About 365, 370. 366, 368, 361, 368, 366. So if your FPS limit's 365, this is going to be good to go. But if you have to be at 350, this is going to be shooting too hot. Let's get rate of fire reading with just a 11.1 20C, 22 rounds a second at 366 feet per second, which is 1.25 joules with twos. Back in the day, that was pretty freaking impressive during that time, because JGs and all those were spitting out like 18 to 20 generally with the same battery. So these were quite quick for the time. These were up there with like classic armies, because those shot pretty quick as well. Let's go ahead and shoot it. It seems to shoot pretty accurately. The trigger pull is, the spring is really heavy, but the mechanical trigger contacts are actually really crisp on KWAs because the contacts touch sooner than normal and they cut off properly. So the trigger response out of these can actually be pretty impressive. I mean, because that trigger is actually pretty nice. This is just a basic high cap, and it seems to feed fine. So the KWAs do come with a sector chip on the sector gear, so they do feed pretty good. I will test a mid cap with 0.3s later, but the high caps are chugging through. You can see, pretty consistent and pretty good trigger response. Full auto. Oh yeah, very nice. These are 0.3s again, so they're going to drop. This gun will hop 0.3s if you want it to. You just have to turn the hop up. But I'd say 0.3s is the max you're going to want to shoot out a stock KWA like this. Let's see if full auto functions feeding wise. That'll be the true test for the mid cap with these heavy BBs. Oh yeah, straight through. So obviously something's working for KWA with their tappet plate, nozzle, sector chip sort of thing. But the 2GX ones with no blowback, just the standard 2GX gearboxes, are pretty dang solid guns. So if you have any questions or anything, let me know. And thank you for watching this video.